My name is Professor Baldy, and I run a school for juvenile delinquents. But not just any delinquents. Mine are specially gifted. You might even call them mutants. Trust a few reformed ex-cons. Tangerine.
Am I the apple of your eye, Bubba?
Jeannie Gray. Beastie Boy.
Everybody dance now.
Snow Cone.
Is it hot in here, or is it just me?
And their friends from X-FARCE. Cable TV.
Eat remote control, frog face.
Garfarel. Meow. Dominoes.
This book has just the right amount of cheese.
And introducing the Newt Mutants. Beware the rest. Magneto. Mistress Piggy. And not at all breaking the fourth wall. Cesspool. Now, Parody Press Comics is back with X-FARCE Reloaded #1. Don't miss this extraordinary comics extravaganza with 7 full color stories of marvelous mutant mayhem. Back this book today for awesome variant covers and original artwork tiers. 48 pages of action and hilarious hijinks by some of comics' funniest talents. Parody Press, making the world laugh again. Only on INDIEGOGO.
I got the hot drive on modulator and the 2-gate on even flow. Inside the time space continuator, there's a flex mount that's set to go. This thing is vertical, retractable, reversible, submergible and Germany. And the mechanism cost the bad multiply and disk drive is Germany. It's Germany. Plug the main out into the AC. I've got the steam pre to heat it up. If there's a dropout inside the timepiece, then the jam scene will lock it up. I've been building it, planning it, dreaming it, manning it, jamming it, I'm jamming it. And if I pull a switch and nothing hits, I'll do it all again. Right now, I give everything I've got. Journey with you, no doubt. I believe in everything you are. Journey with you, in the undergrid, we're getting shaky. The excitement is in the air.
Jack Kirby is an important name for you to know because Jack Kirby's career spans the entire history of comic books, from the early 30s right up to today. Jack Kirby, when he began, had one of the most energetic styles of any artist. His work practically leaps off the page at you. In the 60s, he went to work for Marvel Comics, where he created the Fantastic Four, the Hulk, the Silver Surfer, and a host of other characters that you all know, in collaboration with a man named Stan Lee. This was the basis of the new Marvel House of Ideas, and it again revolutionized comics. and Marvel Comics became the most popular in the world. In the 70s, he worked for another comic house, DC, and created the Fourth World, Kirby's Fourth World. There were 3 comics, The Forever People, The New Gods, and Mr. Miracle. And in this triumvirate of comics, he created a whole new universe of characters with a lifestyle and with a philosophy that was his alone.
I see that story first. I feel that story first. I know those people first. When I put them down, they've already lived. And I put them down as I'd like them to live on those pages. My stories are very sincere. My stories are people's stories. And there's elements in my stories that are very, very real. And it doesn't matter what the subject is. And I've done stories in a wide range of subjects. My inspirations were the fact that I had to make sales. And I had to come up with characters that were no longer stereotypes. In other words, I couldn't depend on gangsters. I had to get something new. And of course, for some reason, I went to the Bible. I came up with Galactus. And there I was in front of this tremendous figure who I knew very well because I've always felt him, and I certainly couldn't treat him in the same way that I would any ordinary mortal. And I remember in my first story, I had to back away from him to resolve that story. And of course, the Silver Surfer is the fallen angel. And when Galactus relegated him to Earth, he stayed on Earth. And that was the beginning of his adventures. And they were figures that had never before been used in comics. They were above mythic figures. And of course, they were the first gods. And I began thinking along those lines. And the new gods evolved from those lines. And I began to ask myself, everybody else had their gods, what are ours? What is the shape of our society in the form of myth and legend? Who are our gods? Who are our evil gods? And who are our good ones? And I tried to resolve them in the new gods. And I came up with some very, very interesting characters and very good sales, which satisfied me immensely. Now, I didn't resolve the questions. I'm a guy who lives with a lot of questions. I say, what's out there? And I try to resolve that. And I never can. I don't think anybody can. Who's got the answers? I sure would like to hear the ultimate one. But I haven't yet. And so I live with a lot of questions. And I find that entertaining. I find that entertaining. And if my life would have went tomorrow, it would be fulfilled in that manner. I would say the questions have been terrific. The comic book medium itself is special. It's something that was, that's a result of evolvement. From what I understand, the editorial comic was first. And then they added a few panels to that and you had a comic strip. And they added a few pages to that and you had a comic book. And what we can add to the comic book, we may have to think about that. So I believe that's the interesting part of the entire field, is to say, what is it? Where is it going? How it'll evolve. And we experiment with that every day.
Hey everyone, good morning. Welcome to another edition of Comics and Coffee, special Jack Kirby show, open mic show. It's going to be a lot of fun. I have a lot of cool stuff in store planned for you. I hope you're doing well. It is just a little bit over past 9 o'clock here in kind of hazy Northern California. We've had a lot of fires, not really close to us, but more east. And so that if you look outside my window, it's kind of hazy. The sun looks kind of this dark red, and it's a little ominous, but we're safe. But we do definitely want prayers for those people that are going through loss of their property. I don't think there's been any loss of life, but it's one of the biggest fires in California right now. So anyways, don't want to start off on a downer note, but that's kind of the reality we're living in. We have quite a few different things going on in the world, but what better way to escape than to talk about comics and to talk about one of the great ones. I'll move my head so you can see Captain America. He's protecting me. Hey, Cap. So we've got a lot of cool stuff planned. I've got a drawing then I'm going to be doing later. It's a quiz. So if you guys are good Jack Kirby students, you should be able to answer. So I'm going to have a few questions, and the first person to answer those questions, to get 2 of them right, will win our glorious copy of X-Cons, which I have the shirt on right here. But it's actually X-FARCE Reloaded. This is the Jack Kirby tribute cover that we did. This just came out in April. It's a $25 book. And we also had a really cool Jack Kirby tribute trading card that has the same image on it. So this is a parody of X-Men #4, if you guys are students of X-Men. And so if anyone gets the 2 questions right, I'm going to send them an autographed copy of X-Cons along with the bonus trading card. So stick around. We'll do that a little bit later. And it's a funny book. It's all color, and we poke fun at the original Jack Kirby Stan Lee run. But I want to say hi to our people in the chat. Ginge actually left a funny comment. I don't know if he's in the chat yet, but he says, I have a Kirby doll named Jack. Oh, hey, good night, everyone. I'll be here all week. Ginge is a funny dude. We got Pops in the house. Pops, thank you for introducing me to Glenn. Glenn's going to be on our show shortly. He is working on a crowdfunded project, which is a Jack Kirby personal journey book and DVD. So we're going to talk about that. And he actually got to spend a couple days at Jack's house. I'm not exactly sure when it was, maybe in the 90s. And he'll be able to share some of his cool stories about meeting Jack, and maybe give us a preview of what the book and the film is going to be about. I see Abominable Grizzly. Good to see you. Pastmaster Dan, thank you for being here. Pastmaster, I think you need to eat a little bit more. Your profile picture, you look like you're kind of, you're a little thin in the jaw there. Yeah, you miss Machine Man. I do too. I'm a big Machine Man fan, and if you guys see in my intro, every time I play it, I have a Machine Man #1 image in there. That was kind of the book that got me hooked on Kirby. So it's a character that's near and dear to my heart. And as we watched that little past interview with Jack, that was hosted by Harlan Ellison, who's unfortunately he passed away, but he was a very renowned science fiction writer. And I have a funny story. Harlan was in an elevator at San Diego Con back in the 90s, and it was kind of at a hotel. We were probably staying at the same hotel. And he gets in, it's really crowded. My wife is in there, we're in there. And he made some kind of inappropriate joke about it being kind of like like a Jewish gas chamber. just trying to break the tenseness of everybody being squeezed together in this elevator. But Harlan's a really short dude. I mean, I'm not very tall. I'm only probably 5'4". Harlan I think he's probably about 5'4" or even smaller than that. But I got to meet Harlan, and then he started to get comic books that we were publishing called Comics Express. It was a comic strip magazine, and he was on our comp list back in the 90s. We were doing this comic strip magazine, and he really liked it. He actually complained when he didn't get his free copy of Comics Express back in the day. So that was kind of fun. And then Did he have a huge comic collection? I would imagine he would. Past master, he could probably afford it. He's probably pretty loaded. Legend Speaks, yes, that was Jack kind of giving his take on creating and the New Gods, DC, that cool stuff. Let's see. We've got Mr. R.J. Carter. Oh, you're doing a Jack? Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't even know it was August 28th was his birthday. But RJ, you are welcome to join the what do you call it? Our drawing, our quiz show. You'll probably get these because you're pretty knowledgeable. Hey, Marvin from The Edge, the creator of the Edge comic, has been on our show before. Let's see, Infinity is here. Alejandro, all the way over in the UK. Nice to see you, Alejandro. Networking, yes, definitely, Pops. So I wanted to let you guys know, if you would like to join this chat and be if you have a special Kirby memory or a comic book or piece of memorabilia that you would like to share, you're welcome to come in and show it. I mean, I've got some comic books that I pulled from my collection that I wanted to just kind of share with you guys. I only met Kirby once, and it was at a Creation Con back in the 80s. I live about 5 hours north of San Francisco. And back in the 80s, this company called Creation would put on these huge shows in hotels, and they have these big ballrooms full of dealer tables, and they would get the biggest guests of the day. You know, you'd have Star Trek people, you'd have Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, Chris Claremont. And so Jack was one of the featured guests when I went to go see this Creation Con. We actually had a table there, my friends and I, and we were trying to sell our fanzine back in the day when I was in high school. So we would schlep our amateur comic books to these shows, and I had a chance to actually see Jack in the lobby walking around, and he was just mingling and talking to fans. Eric the Guapo asked, "Who is Jack Kirby? You're a funny guy." So anyways, Jack was mingling with fans, and he was letting people give him comic books to sign. And at the time, my biggest comic books that I had that were Kirby were X-Men #2 and Fantastic Four. I'm not going to say what issue because it's the answer to one of our quiz questions. But I had Jack sign these on the inside first page. And for some reason, during moves over the years, I can't find those comics. And I'm just kicking myself because I had them in a special place. And now I don't remember where that special place is. But they're probably worth a lot of money because they were signed by Kirby. But anyways, the distinct thing that I remember Kirby saying when he was talking to like 4 or 5 people that were crowded around him, I remember him saying this. He says, he goes, "If aliens ever landed on Earth, you know what I think we should do?" And everybody was kind of going, "No, what should we do, Jack?" And Jack says, "If aliens landed on Earth," he goes, "I think we should eat them, because then that would discourage them from trying to invade us more." And I thought, that's a pretty wise take. I don't think I've ever heard of us making the aliens, a food source, because it's always the reverse way around. But hey, we humans eat, it could taste like chicken. I don't know. So anyways, that was my Jack Kirby story. I got to meet him once, but not as long as our friend Glenn, who's going to be joining us. And we want to say hi to Doris is in the house. Hey, Doris. Good morning. Good to see you. Let's see here. So anyways, guys, we've got a good crowd here, at least a dozen people. So let me go ahead and just kind of show you what, if you want to join the open mic, I did post it earlier in the comment section and also on the YouTube link. So if you don't see that link and you want to join us, please do. Hey, see our good friend Dan Shaheen is also in the house. Hey, Dan, I was thinking about having you on. You're welcome to jump on, my friend. I know you're a big Kirby fan. Humboldt County is where Dan and I both live. Dan has been hosting a show for a long time. I've been a guest on it. We still haven't met in person, even though we only live probably like 10 minutes away from each other. But he says Humboldt weather is what it must be like on Apocalypse. That's funny. And I definitely want to be on your show, Dan, when you do the game show format again, because I really liked Dan. Dan, if you go to his YouTube page, you can subscribe. He's got a new game show format called Mother Box. And I don't know how many episodes he's done, but I think he's done at least one. And it's really well done. It's a trivia show. So we see Boob Dan Art is in the house. Hey, Boob Dan. Have you ever done a Jack Kirby spoof? I don't know. You know, one thing I have to say is that, to be honest with you, Jack Kirby's women did not really appeal to me. They just didn't have the curves that they weren't like fetching. Sue Storm, you know, the jump from Sue Storm to Jessica Alba, that was quite a stretch, but I can't say I ever got excited over a Jack Kirby woman. But I loved his, you know, his dynamic layouts and stuff, but I have to say his women little bit square in the jaw for me. Pastmaster Dan says they were handsome women. Yes, I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but that's just me. I don't know, Boo Dan, Sue Richards. I'm not sure. I think who did I like that drew the good women? I'd have to say John Byrne. Like John Byrne's She-Hulk was pretty hot. Not the She-Hulk they're bringing back, but John Byrne drew some pretty good women. Let's see here. Let's see. Pastmaster Dan, you asked Humboldt. Isn't that within the Emerald Triangle? Yes, it is. It's where a lot of the pot marijuana is harvested. Anyways, Dan is in the house. That's cool. We'll get to talk to Dan. So anyways, before we get started, I just kind of want to show you a few items from my own collection that I pulled out, just so you can check it out. So we've got, I'm on a green screen, so everything that's green on the comic book will look like it's see-through. But this is like the book when I was driving. I'm sorry, not driving. I was riding my bike to junior high school. I would stop by the we didn't have 7-Elevens. We had Circle K's. And on the spinner rack in 1978-ish, early 70s, mid 70s, they had a spinner rack at the local Circle K. And I would, every week they'd, you know, reload the comics. And so Machine Man was the thing that caught my eye, because I mean, how can you not like this cool 3D cover? And so I started just voraciously reading Machine Man, and that kind of got me into the whole Kirby universe. Machine Man ran for about 18 issues, and then Kirby left after issue 9, and then they brought on Steve Ditko. And to me, in the Marvel universe, there are no bigger polar opposites of art styles than Jack Kirby and Steve Ditko. And to be honest with you, I really wasn't a big Ditko fan. Just something about, I mean, he did a great Spider-Man, I'd have to say, but his anatomy and just, you know, I don't know, just, look, I mean, come on, guys. I mean, which one would you want was on the rack if you had to make a choice? I think you'd go with the Kirby, you know, for Machine Man anyways. So Ditko just kind of phoned it in on Machine Man. That's my take on it. So that's an issue from my collection that I was going to get possibly graded. Then I just started to do a deep dive into Kirby, and I started to collect everything Marvel that he did. There was Devil Dinosaur. He did the Inhumans. You know, this was before Machine Man. So you know, once you get the Kirby bug, you want to go back and find all the other stuff he did. So this is Inhumans #1. I think they did a TV series on that. Looking back, I had some old Fantastic Fours. This is one that's a reprint. It's the king size special. But when you're a kid and you come across this and you don't know any better, you think, oh man, this is Fantastic Four #7. You know, you come across it like at a thrift store or something, you think you hit the mother load. And then you look in the Overstreet price guide and you see, oh, it's still worth something, but it's not Fantastic Four #7. It's an annual or a special, which is basically normally a reprint of like the really early issues. But this is a, one of these king size special from the 60s. For just a quarter, you would get like a 64-page book. It's pretty cool. So one of my oldest FFs that I still have is this one, which is number 16 with Dr. Doom on it. So that's a pretty, I think it's in pretty good shape. I haven't had it graded. And then, I came across some miscellaneous Fantastic Fours. I had 100. This is like number 101. It's got, the Thing and Alicia on it, and Johnny getting taken over with some, I think these are some Krulls, right? Skrulls? Those are the Skrulls. Anyway, that's kind of what I wanted to show you. If time permits, I'll show you guys some more some more Kirby stuff that I have. But let's go ahead and I'm going to bring in everyone in the stream, and then we're going to talk to Glenn, and people can interact with Glenn as he explains. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring Glenn in. Hey, Glenn, how are you?
How are you doing, Don? Thanks for having me on.
I'm very well, sir. Nice to see you. You were all the way over. Are you in England or what part of the?
England, yeah, Manchester, England, in the north.
Have you lived there for a long time?
About 66 years.
Wow! Congratulations. So, so you came over to the United States because obviously you met with Jack Kirby and got to talk to him. So, what year was that?
Well, I've been to the United States many times, and not only to see Jack Kirby, but the first time I saw Jack was in 1988, and then the second time was 1991.
Okay, so how does one get into actually being able to meet Jack at his house? Did you just say, I'm doing a project and I like to interview, or?
No. What happened was the first time I came across Jack Kirby was back in 1965 when I was 10. And I've got the actual comic that my brother brought home that day.
Oh, wow.
It's well read.
Yes.
I don't think there's much grading on this one. But it's obviously a Kirby cover, but John Severin drew the inside. But it's Kirby layouts, as it says.
Very nice.
Right? You can see that. Okay. So
yeah, you actually, I asked you before you came on the show if you ever had any original art from Kirby, and I think you sent me
I did, yeah. I had a page from Tales to Astonish '98.
How did you come across that?
I got it at a convention in London. There was quite a bit there. I wish I'd had the money to buy it all, but I let it go a few years ago. I sold it, but I shouldn't have done, but I did. So I don't really talk about that much. You're lucky you got an exclusive there because it hurts too much that I let it go.
I know.
It was my own fault, It's my own fault.
I've never been able to have a Kirby original, but I did get. Have you ever ordered one of his grandson's special Kirby collectors boxes? No. We're going to open this, guys, a little bit later in the show, but these are available on the Kirby on Comics website. You can Google it.
Wow.
And they're having a 50% off sale. So you can get, I think they have 6 or 7 different ones that you can get, but they come in this really cool box, and they start I think at $50. So
look at that.
They're supposed to have prints and clippings and I think animation cells if you pay a certain price. But we're going to open that a little bit later, Glenn. So why don't we play your trailer? I'm going to go ahead and play your trailer. Let me go ahead and see if I can get Dan and my other guests in, because I want to have this an interactive show today. So I'm going to bring in my friend Dan. Hey, Dan.
Hey.
Are you there?
Hey, Don. Yeah, Don, can you hear me? Yeah, can you hear me? Great.
I can.
Cool.
Good morning. How
Awesome.
are you? Hey,
doing great, man.
Introduce you to Glenn. Glenn, this is Dan Shaheen.
Hi, Dan.
Hey, Glenn.
All right.
Nice
and
to
then
meet
we
you.
have also in the chat, George, are you there?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing great. I love the topic. That's why I jumped in. Hi, Dan.
Right, great.
Hi, Glenn.
Hi, Joe. George.
Great. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and play the trailer that Glenn graciously sent me, and then we can he can explain a little bit more about what he's working on, and maybe give us some details on how we can support it. So let me go ahead and pull up the trailer, and here we go.
When they mined an area, they put down yellow tape right across that line. See? And if you walk on the wrong side of that yellow tape, you blew up.
Strange Tales 136. I remember it very clearly, and that was my first exposure to Kirby. And I wanted to show it to people.
There we go. Very cool, Glenn.
Thank you.
How long have you been working on this?
Oh, well, it's a bit, let me just explain. It's a bit crackly because it was never recorded on professional equipment, so it's a bit crackly, but I think it adds to the charm, a bit like the Harlan Ellison film you showed. It's a bit grainy and a bit, I think it adds to it. What happened was I first went out to see Kirby in 1988, and I took a camcorder with me, but that broke. And after a few minutes, that broke down. So I've only got a few minutes of us around the pool with him on that one. But the second time I went in 1991, I got a better camcorder, which still was a bit crackly, as we heard. But and then I didn't do anything with this film because it was, this is 30 years ago, so I wasn't really. It was just for my own amusement, so to speak. And then when it was approaching what would have been Jack's 100th birthday in 2017, I decided to do something with it. I offered it to the Kirby Museum. They didn't want it. I couldn't give it away. So I thought, well, I'll do something with it myself. And I was filmed talking about how I got there, which is part of what you saw there. And then the film, it lasts about, I think it's about 35, 40 minutes, the actual film of me with Jack. But when I went there the second time, I decided that Jack was, full of stories. He liked to talk about things. So I didn't go with any kind of agenda or any questions. I just wanted to let him talk, so that I could see what he was like rather than what Jack Kirby in quotes was like. So sure. I did that, and he just talks, and he doesn't talk. He talks about everything. He talks about his service, like he was talking about mines there and fixing mines and minefields and all that. He was talking about that. And he talked about when he was a kid, and he talked about working in comics. He talked about all of his life and things that happened to him, people he knew, and all this kind of thing. And I think it's really interesting because he just doesn't talk about comics. He doesn't talk about the Fantastic Four or whatever. He just talks about his life. And I'm not saying that hasn't been done in interviews before. But as far as I'm aware, there isn't anywhere out there the length of time that I show in the film. I've seen clips of him at conventions and things like that, and the Kirby family themselves may have that kind of footage, but that's their personal stuff. But I just wanted to put it out there to show everybody, and so I produced this in 2017, which is the first version of this. Sorry, there we go.
Oh wow! Okay.
And that was
wow! I didn't know you had already done one. That's cool.
Yeah. What I did was I had a special preview at a local theatre, and I invited 30 or 40 people to that, and then it was on sale after, and I published it. Hi, Dory. After that, and then recently, well, about a year ago, I went over the footage again, and there's parts of it that I'd edited out, and I decided to put together the whole thing. So you get the campaign promo, you get my interview, you get the film, and you get the extras as well that I didn't publish with the first one. And I've called it the final cut. But I also wrote a book about the whole thing, which is the Words and Pictures book, and I'm going to put it on Indiegogo in the next couple of weeks. And the book will contain the DVD. That I can't think of any sort of stretch goals I can give, because I can't give away artwork and stuff like that, and not that I have any of Jack's artwork now, and nobody would be interested in mine to do with this project. So basically, it's a re-edit, a final cut with added stuff in it. And after this showing at the theatre, there was a Q&A which was filmed, and that's on it as well. So we're just discussing Kirby with that as well. The whole thing is I think it's just short 2 hours long now. Okay. But that'll be coming out in a couple of weeks. I just need to get my introduction by the guy who's writing that for me, and then finish the book. But it's 95% done, so it'll be out there in a couple of weeks on Indiegogo.
Do you have a price point yet?
I'm thinking around $35, $40 for the whole thing. I'm not sure. I've got to work that out yet. Okay. But it'll be around that.
And so do you know how much you need to raise in order to actually?
Yeah, I think it's about £800 or something like that. So it's probably getting on for $1,000.
Oh, that's not much. You should hit that.
Yeah, but I still have to work it out. So it's not going to be too far north of that.
So you're getting a book and a DVD for about $40?
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty good. So Danny or George, do you have any questions for Glenn?
Yeah, a lot of the things that's fascinated me about Kirby is that he actually did a lot of romance books back between Captain America, between 1940 and Marvel.
Yeah.
And that's what it really impressed the heck out of me, is because everybody talks about Kirby in his bombastic, awesomeness with Kirby Crackle and all that stuff. But I've been able to, go to flea markets and just randomly, buy old or torn romance books. And eventually I started going through them one at a time and go like, holy shit, this is Kirby's name is in this. How the heck did this happen? And eventually, when the internet became more robust, not like the 90s, I started to look into it. It goes, yeah, he actually did a lot of romance books. And that totally freaked me out. He even self-published some stuff too.
That's right, yeah. I think those I can't be 100% sure on this because I'm not Jack Kirby, but I think the reason, Mike Jimmy, the reason he went into the romance books was because they came out a couple of years after he got back from the war, and I think he was done with killing and all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying this is true. This is what I've got from it.
No, the timeline matches up.
Yeah, I think he went into. He
actually invented the romance comic.
Yeah,
Kirby
that's right.
The creator.
Yeah.
He came up with that idea. He said girls should want comics just as much as boys, and created them.
Well, Roz did tell me that he was having nightmares and stuff for years and years after that, and it's significant, I think, that just before he touches, when he was 40 in 1957, or a couple of years before that, he started doing his war comics again, like Foxhole and things like that. So I think he must have kind of gone through some kind of period where he was sort of in recovery, if you will, because of the traumas of the war. Because he nearly lost his legs in the war. You know about that. Yeah. And for people who don't know that, what happened, he was at Bastogne with all the freezing temperatures, and he got frostbite, and both his legs turned purple, as did a lot of the other guys. And he was taken back to the aid station. I'm not sure he went back to London or not, but he was taken back to the aid station, and the doctor was going to cut his legs off. And somehow he said, "Don't do that. Just leave me." So they left him, and he recovered, which begs the question: how many guys lost their legs because the guy thought, "Well, just you understand?"
Yeah.
But anyway, anyway, there was all that kind of trauma, and then when he came home from the service in 1945, I think he was probably like all veterans. I would imagine he was a bit traumatized by it all. I would think so. And then he went, like we say, he went the opposite way and created the romance line before coming back and being probably settled in himself, his trauma and stuff, his emotional situation. And then he went back to what he probably does best, which is things like that on the screen, with Thor and Fantastic Four and all the science fiction stuff he did. Because he did everything, he did Sky Masters and all sorts of stuff.
You mentioned Roz, Kirby. Do you have footage of her in your movie?
Got some footage of her, but she's not talking. But she is in the photographs and things like that. She was a fantastic woman, Roz Kirby. She was absolutely brilliant. She was beautiful, and she was just so friendly and so. I got there. She didn't know who I was. She knew I was on my way, but she didn't know who I was. And I walked through the door, and she gave me the biggest hug I think I've ever had. She was just great. She was wonderful. Yeah, but you could see there was a hard edge to her. You could see that nobody was going to mess with her guy. Do you know what I mean? And but she was a lovely person. Yeah, she was really nice. She said some great things about my artwork that showed her and all that kind of thing. It's really good.
Glenn, what was their house like? Did they live in like near Hollywood or LA or?
They lived in a place called Thousand Oaks.
Okay.
Which is about an hour from LA, and fantastic house. And it's one of these. It's sort of grown. There's a. I don't want to rain anybody's parade, but I hear people say that Jack was always working hard and just to put food on the table. Well, I imagine he put some very nice food on the table, because I don't think he was a poor man. I just don't think he got the rewards he should have done, that others were getting from his labor. But his house was really, really nice. I could live there. I'd like to live there. Beautiful house, big swimming pool at the back, overlooking a canyon. There's no buildings behind him. It goes down into the valley, and beautiful place, lovely place.
Nice. So, did you just kind of like correspond with him, like via mail or?
Yeah, this is all on the film. It's what happened in a nutshell. Was I went on holiday and met some Americans who lived in Anaheim in California, and I just mentioned this place called Thousand Oaks that I'd seen in the back of the letters pages in his books, and they said, "Oh yeah, that's about an hour away from us." So I told them what the connection was for me. And then I got a letter from them with Jack Kirby's phone number in it. So I rang it, and it was him. And then I told him, I asked him if I told him I was coming over to the States in about 6 months' time. And I asked if I could come and visit, and they said, yeah. So they sent me, I gave them my address. They sent me a letter with their address on it, and I went around to see them.
Wow.
Did that twice.
That's so cool.
They say you could do that to Ditko too. Like you could get his address. You could go to him. You could knock on his door and talk to him. And they were, back then they got so little acclaim for their genius and what they contributed to art and culture in general that they were just like happy anybody appreciated them, I think.
Yeah, they weren't celebrities like they are now. They weren't touchy about it. They were real people and honest people,
That's Roz. Here's Roz right here.
Yeah. That's cool.
Jack didn't drive. Jack didn't do anything except draw comic books. Like he couldn't do anything for himself because she took care of every one of his needs so he could focus on his art. Amazing, amazing.
That's cool. Hey, I just want to welcome Mike Jimmy into the chat. How are you, Mike?
I'm doing all right. It's been a long work day again, but
Yeah, all the way from the Netherlands.
As usual.
Yes. So what's your Kirby story? Do you have any fascinating?
I really don't have any. I really didn't grow up with American comics, so I knew of Kirby, but for the most part, he was just an artist that worked on the big two, you know, and we knew about the big two because we had their movies, but we didn't have their comics as much.
I see. That's okay. Yeah, he's probably a little bit before your time, and but
Yeah.
definitely very dynamic personalities for sure. George, you have something you want to share?
Yeah, I don't have images coming up, but I just want to tell everybody that you can actually go to a place called digitalcomicsmuseum.com, and you can actually look up Hillman Comics or a bunch of other different publishers, and you'll find Kirby's work in these free to download books, and they're here because they're in the public domain. They're no longer under copyright. So I'm not going to click on this because it's very graphic heavy. But
Okay.
I just want to tell you, digitalcomicsmuseum.com is a great place because they have a lot of the books that have been put into the public domain, and you'll definitely find Jack Kirby stuff in here, and Jack Kirby stuff, and a whole lot of other stuff. Even the original Fawcett run on Captain Marvel.
Okay,
it's all in here.
I'm gonna make you a moderator, George, and then you can put the link in the chat.
Okay, sure.
Would that be all right?
I'll say hi in the chat, and you can blue man me.
Yes, I will. And I see Rick Saylor's in the chat. I'm going to make you a moderator. Here's George. I see right now. Let me add you as a. I'm going to give you a wrench today, George.
Awesome.
Let's see. All right, and then Dan. Dan, I think this is the first time you've been on my show.
I think so. You were on my show.
Yeah, I trust you. I trust you not to put any controversial propaganda in my.
Oh, dude, I'm about to throw it down. I don't know what. Well, actually, I don't. I actually have to go back to work, but I wanted to talk about a book that came out this year about Jack Kirby, and I had the creator on my show. Oh wait a minute, that's a little big.
Oh, cool.
This Jack Kirby, The Epic Life of the King of Comics by Tom Scioli.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And this is actually a graphic novel.
Yeah, I've seen it come around.
Yeah.
About the life of Jack, like about his life and coming up and early struggles and first meeting with Stan Lee, his time in the war. I mean, it's the whole thing. And it was really fun. Tom Scioli is a really interesting cartoonist. He does, I don't know, he did GoBots versus Transformers, I think, for IDW, and he did that Fantastic Four Grand Design for Marvel, and he's just an ultra Kirby head aficionado. He did this book called The Myth of 8 Opus. That's just like all in this Kirby-esque style. Anyway, it's a good book. It's worth picking up and check it out.
Thanks, Dan.
Yeah.
Hey, before you go, Dan, what's your favorite Kirby creation?
Oh man. Well, you were wait a minute, you were talking about
Yeah, you got fire going on in your studio.
yeah. All right. Well, I gotta say, I really do. I didn't know you were such a Machine Man guy.
Oh yeah, man.
But he's that's definitely got to be one of my favorite creations. I mean, I got into it through the Barry Windsor Smith one in the 80s. But going back to the original, this is I think, one of his greatest.
Yes.
2001.
Yeah, this was his first appearance, and just a great book. That's probably like, I don't know. When I was originally got into Kirby, I didn't know it was Kirby. I just knew I loved. It was an issue. I forget which issue of the Avengers it was. One of the early Avengers issues, where all the bad guys team up on Cap, and they go like, "Oh, he's the only one in the Avengers mansion today, so he's an easy mark. Let's go get him." And they go after him, and he just whoops the crap out of all of them. They got like armor and all these crazy weapons. He's beating the crap out of them. And I didn't know Kirby. I was just like, man, this just sold me that Captain America was the most badass of the Avengers. And it was only, and then I stole that book from the library. It was a little
Kirby made you a juvenile delinquent.
We all get one of those. We all get one of those.
What do you think their fee? What do you think their fee?
That I realized though that nobody else could do it. That action sequence with Cap, just like incredible. The range of motion and dynamism of the.
Yeah.
Okay, listen. Yeah, in fact, you got 2001 up on the screen. I have to tell you, I saw. When I saw 2001. It was boring as fuck when I experienced it because I didn't appreciate the signs behind it. But when I actually picked up the comic books, from the variety store because they had a sticker and they had some writing on it, because the variety store guy actually coated them with red pen on it, and I read it. It's like this was more exciting than the freaking movie. Jack Kirby made 2001 more exciting in the comic books than it was in the freaking movie. That was incredible.
I feel like that's what he did. He saw that movie. He's like, oh, this is kind of boring, guys. Where's the robots?
That's true. Oh, cool, guys. Let's see here. We got another guest in our chat now. It's Boob Dan Art. Hey,
hello,
Dan.
Friend. Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I heard you talking about Jack Kirby, and I was like, yeah, like I definitely had some Jack stuff that I got because as a kid, my first experience with standard floppies was a Conan comic and a Spider-Man as a 2-pack at a grocery store. And I only had those two for like the longest time. And then as a kid, I walked into a bookstore and I found these. So
the treasuries.
Yeah, this was
right there.
This was my experience with him was Thor. So this Thor book, and coincidentally, since we're talking about it, also 2001 Space Odyssey, which I think back 12 years ago, I found out there was more issues of this I'd never known before, and because I didn't he's got such a wide volume of work, it's hard to know everything he did unless you itemize it through a catalog or something. And so I went back and I collected all the 2001 Space Odyssey books, and I was trying to see if I had them before I hopped on, but I think I have them stashed away in a short box somewhere. And I agree. The 2001 Space Odyssey stuff was really cool, and especially how it was kind of crazy how at some point it just transitions into the Marvel universe away from the Arthur C. Clarke sort of 2001 stuff.
I'm gonna bounce out, but you know what's awesome about 2001? It'll never get reprinted. Those books are expensive as heck.
Yeah,
awesome.
That's true.
It's my favorite thing. I really
thank you for having me on.
Here and give my Jack Kirby story real fast, but I want to say hi to Mr. Shaheen, who never met you before. How you doing? Everybody else, you guys, I know all you guys. Don, thanks for having me on. My Jack Kirby story involves, go back to the other screen. I can go back to my Jack Kirby story involves this guy having a friend that got to, hang out with him. This, that made it all, more come to life for me. It's one thing looking at the books, talking to somebody that got to sit with the man. That brings it all to life for you, okay? The other part of my Jack Kirby story is that I got to introduce that guy to that guy. All right, y'all have a good day. I'm out. Peace.
All right. Thanks, Pops.
Oh, God. That's Pops.
So, we're already at an hour, guys, and I have a possibility of a dishwasher repairman coming to my house.
Oh, dear.
But I want to get
I gotta go.
Modern conveniences.
Nice to meet you guys. Thanks for doing this, Tom.
See ya.
You're welcome, Dan.
See you, check out Comic Book News with Dan Shaheen on YouTube. Go check it out.
Yes.
See you.
Feel free to post the link, Dan. You're welcome to do that. I'm not going yet because he hasn't knocked on the door, but my wife is in the other room. Hopefully she can handle it. So Dan, where are you from?
Southern California, about 15 minutes from Disneyland.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, I'm in Fullerton, California, which is where Rob blew up from, Rob Liefeld.
Right. That's not that far from Thousand Oaks, is it?
It's about what he said. Like, what about what Glenn said? It's almost, it's a little over an hour for me. Like, I think it's like an hour and 20. I've been there several times because there was a little like local college there, and they like back in the early 2000s, there was a lady I met, and she was teaching at the junior college Maya 3D, and so I was driving all the way out there to this little college because it was either go there and pay like $45 for the class, or like go to like some art school and pay like thousands and thousands of dollars to like learn it. So that's what I ended up doing. So I've been up there before. But yeah, I born and raised in Fullerton, California, from a farmer family. My dad was a farmer. I basically like was in love with comics. Most of my comics were G.I. Joe comics growing up as a kid, because my parents were like, you're gonna collect one thing, you can only collect that. So like I collected G.I. Joe stuff, and I had a few little ancillary like little pieces of other things, but for the most part it was all kind of one thing. And my other experience with Jack Kirby was the superhero that I collected and hunted down as a kid was Black Panther. So I had all the Jack Kirby Black Panther stuff. I really loved all that stuff. With the guy, I can't remember the guy's name, but the guy with the arm with the radio,
Claw.
Yeah, like that guy.
Yeah, he was cool.
Yeah, he was like one of the early, like first villains, I think, in Kirby's run on that book. And yeah, so I'd say like being from Fullerton, the thing that made me an artist was that Rob Liefeld was here. That was my first connection with, because before that I liked Kirby's art. I knew his art, but I didn't really like it sounds dumb, but at the time, like I never put two and two together that like there's a human person like us behind making the stuff. Like, yeah, I knew it was made, but I didn't know it was like, I didn't know how, like the sausage factory was not known to me, like what went into making that. And it wasn't until a buddy of mine, when I was in my freshman year in high school, said, hey man, there's this artist that's going to be downtown at the local comic shop, and he's going to be signing new Marvel books. He's working on New Mutants. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I went down there and I recognized Rob because I'd seen him around, because he used to ride around on a 10-speed bike with about like 50 pounds of chain wrapped around this bike. Like the bike would never be stolen. It was like so much chain. Like he must have gotten a huge workout riding that bike around everywhere. But I'd see him around town riding the bike around. I'd see him at the shop buying books, but I didn't know he was a comic book artist. I just thought he was like me, somebody in there buying books. And so I saw him in there, and like he just created Cable, and I was like, oh my god! I'm like, and then like my brain started racing. Like, this guy creates worlds. He does art, and he makes the pages. Like, he's responsible for this. And then then I found out that he made tons of money, like working a comic at the time, tons of money to me. And I was just like, I gotta figure out how to do that, because I had an interest in drawing, but it didn't really spark to me like draw comics until I saw that somebody did it as a living. I was like and in freshman high school, they're starting to do this whole thing of like you take this weird little class. I think it was there was some class that they had at the college, what was like, or at the high school, that was, you took an aptitude test to see what you would be when you grew up. Like what did you have an affinity for? What's a good track for you? Mine was like something, I don't remember what it was. It was something very mundane. And then I saw this guy was doing comics. It's like, hell no, that's what I want to do. That's the career I want.
Nice.
So yeah.
Now here you are.
I guess, man. Got the Goblin Girl. It's gonna be happening soon. Everybody's on me like, where's it at? And meanwhile, I'm over here going, I think I got 3 pages left to do. And then I go, I think I need to add 4 more new pages.
Oh boy.
So, but I've almost got the 4 new ones done. I've got them penciled out. Here's one that I just inked the other day of the new 4. So
wow,
it's getting close. It's almost done.
Wow,
so
very nice, Dan.
But yeah, so I heard you on. I haven't been on here with you before, and like I said, your book also went like around that time when Rob blew up, and I was like, I want to be that guy. I saw your X-FARCE cover, and I loved that book. I loved the X-FARCE book, and I wanted to draw the women and the heroes how they drew them on the cover of that book. I remember that was one of the early styles that I wanted to like emulate, like that. You know, Art Adams, Adam Hughes, Masamune Nishiro from Japan, like Alan Davis, like all these people. Like I was like, this is the aesthetic that I want. You know, Eastman and Laird, even. You know, so. But yeah, nice. Kirby was in there. He was part of that crest of creativity in my mind early on, like with comics, because of his visuals. But the one thing that the Kirby's always done that I've always loved, and it's kind of it's up there with like three things that I've yet to crack as an artist, and it's gonna sound weird. One of them is drawing Wolverine's head. those fairing things on his head. I've never been able to draw that. Like, it always looks wonky to me. Draw a proper Batman cowl, like a Neil Adams style, and Kirby Crackle. I want to know how to draw Kirby Crackle so bad, and as hard as I try, it is the most pedestrian, unlike least lifelike looking stuff that I can do. But I've known some people that have been amazing at it, and I'm just like, But yeah, and that's one of the things I love about these giant books is there's giant Kirby-esque matter sort of environment stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And I just love the tactileness of the way that looks graphically, you know, with that little pod floating up there in the middle, and then you have all this astral like stuff going on is just so cool, you know. So
very cool, Dan. Yeah, thanks for sharing. I wish we could do more Treasury Edition stuff like back in the day. And they weren't that pricey, you know, for what you got.
No, that was amazing about them. It's like the comic but like twice the size. You're like, whoa.
Cool. Well, guys, I wanted to pull up the KirbyOnComics.com site. That's where I got this box, which I'm gonna go ahead and do the cool duty of opening for you guys. So let me go ahead and let you know that, you know, just go to KirbyOnComics.com. He's having a big sale. Everything is almost 50% off right now. So I got an email. I signed up to this. It's Jeremy Kirby. He's Jack's grandson. And he runs this site, and I think he's done like 10 of these collector's boxes to date. And I think they're mainly kind of like DC oriented. There might be some Marvel stuff. I didn't see that, but I got one. I think this was like $100 package that was normally like $200. And I didn't tell my wife I was getting it. But I think we can write it off. So, let me go to the solo layout. So I'm going to show you. It comes in this really cool, you know, at least 11 by 17.
Ooh. Wow.
Let's see here. So this is the back of it. And then the front has that cool astral cosmic stuff that Dan was talking about.
Yeah.
And then in the corner, we don't know. Let's see. It's all mirrored here. But this guy, I don't know what that head thing is. Does anybody recognize that?
Yeah, that was on Jack's wall. It's some kind of robot guy. But it's only like was framed on his wall when I was there.
Could it be one of the Eternals, maybe?
The what?
Could it be one of the Eternals, maybe?
Possibly one of the Eternals.
I don't think it is. I think it's a separate piece, but I'm not sure.
Okay, or maybe Machine Man with no face. I don't know. So, anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and open this up, and you guys have any questions? I already pre-opened the tape, but
Don,
cool.
I'm just gonna say, Sue is right over your shoulder. How could you not say that is not a beautiful woman?
Okay, you're right. I'll have to reconsider.
Look at those hips.
Yeah. Don't make me blush. Don't make me blush. Okay, so guys, what you see here is you're gonna get the Kirby box here. Let me turn it around this way so you can see. Okay, so it comes with bubble wrap.
Oh wow!
So it came with a copy of Captain Victory, which I think that was with Pacific Comics. You know, he kind of left Marvel and DC and kind of went his own way. I know Eclipse Comics did they did Destroy Your Duck. That was kind of to raise money, but everybody, you know, back in the mid 80s, there was kind of like this uprising of the comic book faithful, thinking that, you know, Jack isn't getting his fair share. It's almost like Stan came in and kind of stole the show, and you know, I don't think the Kirby family really gets too much residuals off of all the comic books that he created. So a lot of creators were starting to kind of rally and do projects that were going to benefit Jack. But he did this for Pacific, but this looks like it's a reprint of, oh, it's only in black and white, which is kind of a shame. I know. Kirby in black and white.
Don't say shame. I want to see the black and white.
Oh, you want to see the black and white? Okay, Dan.
Oh, man. I bought a whole book that's called Jack Kirby Pencils and Inks from IDW. It's all his line work. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's, you know, I think what they did was they took the color book and then.
Oh, yeah. I think they scanned the cover.
Yeah, it's not.
That's not the same.
It's not as, yeah, not quite the same, but it's all right.
It's cool.
I'll definitely read this. It says published in 2000 from the Jack Kirby estate. So it's got some sketches.
Oh,
in it.
wow. That's cool.
Ooh, nice.
Very cool.
All right. So then that came with it. Let's see what else. All right. So this is what came in a bag. So the first thing I'll take out is, oh, this is pretty cool. It's like a 8.5 by 11 Loki pencil print.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think a lot of this stuff never got published, and so Jeremy has the, you know, he's got this library of personal stuff that Jack had. So that came with it, and then I don't know if this is this looks like it might be a sticker, but it's got
that's cool.
Galactus on it. You get 2 stickers. I think what appealed to me was that this was like an Eternals kind of a theme package. So you've got, I'm sorry, this is Heimdall. He's one of the, isn't he like one of the Warriors 3 or something? Like,
yeah, he's also the guy that runs the Rainbow Bridge.
Yeah, from the movies.
I've got some original prints of those from the 60s. I think it's from the 60s, late 60s.
Cool.
So these are like 11 by 17. So that's one print, and it says copyright 1972. And the thing, this is cool. This is a Forever People like production.
Ooh, nice.
Print.
That's right.
And then it's signed by Jeremy. I think they only printed 500. So this is number 47 of 500, signed by Jeremy. I tried to see if he would come on the show, but he hasn't been on social media because I just got this last week, and I thought, how cool would it be to have Jeremy come on and, you know, pitch these boxes, because they're only like $50.
I'm ordering this today.
Yeah, pretty sweet. So that came with it, and then okay, so the other print that you're gonna get is a never before seen like Superman black and white print, and that's also.
That is
I think they're all numbered, like they're all numbered the same. So this is 47 out of 500, and then I think the last thing that kind of appealed to me was this. This is kind of like a pop art. I don't know if he really used like a collage of it. Almost, you know, has this 70s Warhol type vibe, you know.
That's a lot like the 2001 stuff. There's a lot of sort of collage type space stuff inside there as well.
So
that's
so that's the Jack Kirby special edition box, which I'm sure I'll probably get some more. Apex has a cool comment. If he crowdfunded, I think he would. He would have done really good. Jack Kirby on Instagram. Thank you, George, for your. George is like my moderator today because Aaronberg is on the road. Thanks, Aria, for coming in. Nice to see you again, buddy. So let me go ahead and zoom out again, and I will start the. I told everybody I was going to do a drawing. So let me go ahead and take the Kirby on comics side off. And unfortunately, guys, since you're I don't. Should I open it up to my guests? Glenn, you're probably going to get all these right. So I think
probably not.
You need to be you need to be excluded from this contest. But everybody
Kirby,
else,
Dan,
see that.
Dan, Kirby Crackle.
Oh wow, that is cool.
Nice.
Yeah, see, there it is, man. It's got the right texture and it's spaced right. Like, it's a guy I know named Greg Harms. He's a comic book artist, and he draws some crazy Kirby Crackle where it looks like it's moving and swirling. It's like insane. Wow, it's so
Well,
good.
do you know what, Dan? It's really easy to draw, and you can do it.
That's what everybody says, man. I've tried it so many times, and it just it looks like, the problem is I see that stuff, and it's the way it's erratically spaced is like part of what makes it look cool.
Yeah, well, it's
And
energy, isn't it?
Yeah, and when I do it, it looks like a mathematician made it or something. Like it starts to look like wallpaper. It doesn't look like energy. So
well, go and look at
All
some
right,
energy
guys.
then and copy that off.
All right, so here's our quiz, guys. So whoever gets 2 in the chat or even on the screen between Mike and Dan, if whoever gets the first 2 questions right will get a copy of X-FARCE. I'm sorry.
Can I
the
forfeit before? Because I have not grown up with American comics or superheroes.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm
Mike.
I'm a complete noob.
So it's down to you, Dan. You've got to get these right.
Oh my god!
You don't have to participate, Mike. So
I
yeah,
don't,
you're gonna get.
Oh, look at that!
You're gonna get this one sent
cool.
to you. So okay, first question, guys. First question, Chad, are you ready? I'm watching the chat, and so here goes the first question. Okay. Quiz question 1. What was Jack Kirby's original name? So either say it out loud if you're Dan, if you know, or in the chat. I'll give you guys just a little bit of time to put it in.
I know.
Yeah, of course you do.
I remember. Man, I like it's like right there in the back of my brain, but because it's
That's right.
Apex got it.
There it
already.
is. There it is.
Oh, there you go.
Good job,
I had
Apex.
no idea.
You got one. He's got a sense of humor. Cat Kirby. All right, so you got that one right. That is correct. It is Jacob Kurtzberg. Good job. All right, so the second question is, what was the name of the company Kirby first worked for that later became Marvel?
I know.
I have known this one, but
this is deep dive stuff for me.
It's okay.
Yeah, I know.
We got to teach you young whippersnappers.
Yes. I like old
Educate
companies.
us.
You remember, it's like Gold Key, Dell. Those are the only old ones I remember.
Apex got it.
You can Google. Oh, did he get it already?
Oh,
What is it? Where is it? See it.
Hang
Educate
on.
me.
Oh, it's called Timely. That is
Timely.
correct.
Ah.
Apex, good for you. You win the copy of X-FARCE. Please send me your address on Twitter. I know I think we're following each other. So send me your address and I'll get it off to you. But I do have a few other questions just for the fun of it. I'm gonna go ahead and
just for the torture of it.
That was quick.
Exactly.
Okay.
Just kill us, young.
You guys should know this one, Dan. You should know this one. What's the most popular character that Jack created with Joe Simon?
I know.
No. Oh, you guys. Uh-oh, we got a comment already. Who is that? Is Apex gonna get all these? No, that he was just giving me his Splat Guts guess Thor. No, that is not correct, my friend.
No.
Sorry about that. Was Thor a mythical creation before Kirby came along?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought, yeah. Like from
it's
the
not
Norse.
Machine Man, is it?
No.
No. No.
I don't know. I'm trying to think because I know mainly
you're about 40 years out there. Dan.
I was gonna say I know mainly some of the Stan Lee era Jack ones.
No, you need 20 years before that.
Okay, well, I'm gonna give you a hint. We actually have 2 correct answers, but I'm gonna share my green screen and
you've got to think 1941. No, you got to think 1941. Dan.
Cap.
Yeah, it's Captain America.
Oh.
All right, so yeah, we had Apex.
I enjoy
Apex
Cap, but
got
I
it
was
first.
never as big of a Cap fan as some of the other stuff.
George also got it correct. Good job, guys. Okay,
There it is.
question number 4. Besides the Hulk, name the big green monster that Kirby created with Stan Lee.
Swamp Thing?
Abomination.
Well, that is true. He probably did do the Abomination in the Hulk, but I'm thinking even bigger than.
Fing Fang Foom.
Very good, Dan. That is correct.
I never heard of that character.
The
big dragon we'll never see.
The Fing Fang Foom splash page. I think some Strange Tales where he's doing this.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was on Jack's wall when I was there.
Wow.
The original artwork was on the wall.
How big was the piece?
It wasn't the big time. I think it was they moved to it. Was it 11 by something?
11 by 17.
Yeah, it was. I think it was just after they went to those pages about 1962.
Yeah, it's because that early
like
stuff when he made that other early stuff was on those huge pages. Like,
yeah.
It's like the Will Eisner like Spirit artist edition. You have to lift some weights before you can actually flip through that thing.
Yeah,
it's the pages were so big back then.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
This is what Fing Fang Foom looks like.
Yes.
Okay.
And now it looks like I'm talking with the word balloon. How cool is that? I like that. So
No
Fing
place
Fang
on earth.
Foom, Fing Fang Foom, correct. All right. So Apex, of course, got that right. Can we time him out?
Yeah.
Maybe. All right. Number 5.
Knowledge is power, friend.
Question 5, guys. What comic book was the first appearance of the Silver Surfer?
Oh, I know.
I think I knew, but my mind is blank.
I wouldn't know the number.
Wait, no? Do you know the book?
I know the number on the book.
We have a comment here. No, George did not.
No, Apex is looking on Google now.
Patrick got it right. Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
48.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good job. That is correct. All right. That was Galactus and Silver Surfer. He was Galactus's herald. I'm still waiting for them to do a decent Silver Surfer movie on his own. I know he was in the Fantastic Four movie. But okay, last one.
Yeah.
This was already shown earlier. I didn't know you guys were going to be big Machine Man fans, but you are. But this was the question. What Marvel comic book series originally featured the character Machine Man? Dan showed it. Oh, Dan, you have it. Dan Shaheen showed it. Dan has it.
Dan, you've got it.
He's not in this particular issue though, but
not in
That's
it.
true.
No, but he came into the comic book later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll show you guys. This is like
He's
one
the
of my
monolith, basically.
This is one of my finds. Let me get rid of this. Okay, so the answer is
what do we got?
2001. This is a graded copy of the first Machine Man.
Oh,
It's
there
an
it
8.
is.
So
nice.
this is
Being
This is
shot at
one
by
of
the
my-
military.
yeah. So this is Machine Man was in for some strange reason was in 2001,
Yeah.
and they called him X-51. So let me see, guys. I think that's gonna do it. Anybody else want to share any special Kirby thoughts? I'm just gonna give people kind of an update on my campaign stuff. But Mike, do you want to say anything about your project before we leave?
Yeah, we got Love and Korra issue 4 coming up in literally only 2 weeks. So I'm going to start fulfillment very soon. So we got the Rich Parada variant, which is going to be Indiegogo exclusive. The variant by Nina Daisy Eberline, which is also exclusive. And of course the main cover, which has a terrible typo on it that when you find it, you're going to laugh your ass off. And then we have something in pre-launch. And let me share my screen for that real quick. If I can.
Yeah, we'll give everybody a chance to kind of pitch their project before we usher you out, and then I'll just wrap it up with a little bit of BEARDZZERKER update.
BEARDZZERKER.
Yeah, we have a lot of comments going on.
So,
here we go.
If you like Korean dramas and more of a manga style, then this new series by Various and Ends is going to be for you. There we go. So the Radiant Sight is about a girl from the slums who finds a dress that makes her irresistible, and she uses it to both get herself up in society, but also bring up society as a whole. This is going to be the first issue. It's going to be 32 pages, and it's by the writer from Live on Korra 3, and a completely new artist team. So a new artist and a new colorist, and they are just doing a phenomenal job. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. We're going to launch at late September, and if you sign up right now, then you're going to get 25% off on your copy.
Excellent. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, with pleasure.
I can't wait to get Life on Korra. I know you sent me the digital copy, and now I'm waiting for the physical one. And
it's coming. 2 weeks, seriously. Then it's going to fulfill.
Okay, cool. I'll look for that typo too.
It's
all right. Have a good day, buddy.
The worst part.
Have a great day, bud. Bye-bye.
Stay awesome.
All right, so that's Mike. Let's see who else we're going to say hi to. Glenn, anything else before we say goodbye to you?
Don't forget, I'm going to launch my Kirby book and DVD in a couple of weeks in Indiegogo, so I'll be letting everybody know about that. So check that out.
Glenn, do you have a Twitter account, Glenn?
Yes.
Can we get the Twitter handle?
I've not launched anything like that yet. I'm only on Facebook with it. All that stuff is coming, is imminent. So
you actually do have a Twitter, isn't it? AGBF.
No. Well, if you want my Twitter address, it's GBF55. GBF55, and I'll be posting on there. Or you can
F55.
Yeah, so you can pick me up on that. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to put that in the link.
Okay.
Thank you. Awesome. All right, Glenn. Thank you so much for spending your evening with us.
Thank you for having me on. Can I just say this? I'm just working on, this is Hatch, my cartoon character. This is book 1. This is on Amazon right now, and I'm just working on book 2, which is all hand colored. Here's some original artwork.
Great.
I'll show you some more. I do things traditionally. I don't work on computers. I do all my own hand lettering, hand coloring. This has obviously not been finished yet.
Beautiful work.
And thank you. And that's coming out later this year. But that's not finished yet. So that's that. But the first one is on Amazon now.
That's great. I didn't know that you were an artist.
Oh yeah, I'll show you. There's a couple of pages there.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Cool.
Very nice, Glenn. Yeah.
Thank you.
So
I like the perspective on that.
And then I also travel a lot, and I went to Easter Island. And I've written a book about that.
Oh, sweet,
dude.
You're a busy guy.
And I also publish this.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you son of a gun! I know that book.
There you go. Well, that's my book.
I'm officially going to fill my library full of Glenn's.
And I also do children's books.
Oh, wow, that's cool. Can I see some interiors of that one?
Yeah. Jeez, man. How do I follow that? Jeez.
Yeah, good.
Oh my God, so cool.
And
very cool, man.
Just a second, I'll show you another one. Let's see. It's a children's book. It's pretty scary, but we've got to scare the kids, haven't we?
Oh, awesome. Where the Wild Things Are by Glenn.
Yeah.
Very nice, man.
And I also,
it's been a pleasure, my friend. Oh,
okay.
There's more. But wait, there's more.
Yeah, there's more. A couple of years ago, I published, illustrated and wrote and published a book about my dad's D-Day. He was a paratrooper on D-Day.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful. That is
I'm
amazing.
going to look for that right now.
I love your planes.
And yeah, and it's a glider. And I've got this. This is one of the illustrations I did in the book.
Oh,
Glenn, where have you been, man? This is amazing.
I've been here. I'm always here.
Dude, what's that, like 1824?
18 by 24?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty,
that's old school. That's old school, man.
Yeah, pretty huge, yeah. Pretty big.
Very nice.
I've got lots of other stuff I'll maybe show you. I can show you on another program because I'm taking up your time.
No problem. We'll have you on again when you're officially launched, all right?
Yeah, I will let you all know when it's all coming out. And Dan, Dan, you can do the Kirby crackle.
Oh, I'm going to try it. I've been trying on Goblin Girl because I've been wanting to put some in some scenes, but the best I could do was some like cosmic stuff that's like I said, on this latest page, I was going towards attempting it, but it's more or less my fire sort of work, really.
Right.
Do it old school.
If I can do it, you can do it.
All right. I'm going to keep trying.
Keep doing it.
But yeah, I'm going to get your 8 seconds book. I'm going to go look for that right now.
Great. Okay.
All right, Glenn. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you very much, Dan.
Have a great night.
And
take care, buddy.
Thank you. Nice to meet you all. See you later.
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
Bye-bye. What a nice guy.
Well, before we go, I got something to tell. Well, you guys still have a chance. My oversized joking book, 10 inches by 15 inches, 120 pages, full color. I got actual sample right here. Wait.
Really?
Yeah. So this is your standard comic size right here. Standard 7 by 10, 120 pages, right? Well, you see this. This campaign, which is currently active, which was active on Indiegogo. Now I moved it over to my website. You can get it at georgepetergatz.com. It's oversized.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
oversized, but it gets, but it's even better. There's an art sheet on the inside front page, and on the back. There's actually an art board.
Ooh,
it's part of the book. It's part of the book. This is the this the paper the artists use to draw the pages on. It's part of the book. So there's going to be 2 books actually. This is Joking Book 1. This is why I have it physical done, because it's already done. Joking Book 2 is being produced right now. Book 1 and 2 will be this size, 10 by 15, with artboard inside these books, and you can still get it before I go to press. I deliver this December.
That's like as close to treasury size as we're probably gonna get.
This is 2 inches bigger than treasury size. Treasury sizes are 10 by 13. This is 10 by 15.
Very nice, man. Thank you, George.
Thank you for talking about Kirby. I mean, we don't get a lot of that in today's world, in our Miss Dawn, and it's really great to actually geek out with everybody and just keep his memory alive.
I'm so glad that you got to pop in, George.
Yeah, thank you. It was just random chance. I just jumped onto YouTube and said, "Hey, you would like to check this out?"
Thanks, buddy. Well, hey, enjoy the rest of your day, George.
And I will. Thank you. And thank you for making me a mod. I will promise to use it as malicious as possible.
With great power comes great responsibility, George.
Exactly. Take care, guys.
All right. Bye-bye. Hey, Boob Dan. So how can people reach you, and what do you got cooking?
Well, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter, and Instagram as Boob Dan Art. What I've got going is I got Goblin Girl. It's shaping up to be. I was trying to get it down to like 50-something pages, but it's looking like it's gonna be closer to 60. And it's almost completely drawn. It's completely drawn. I've done all the pencils, but I've got like 4 pages left to do the line art on, because I showed that 1 page was line art. But I still have to go over 18 pages and make them look like this page, which is what the finished stuff will look like. It's grayscale.
Ooh, very nice.
So, but yeah, so we're very close to delivering that. I've been working out the tiers on the campaign of what's going to be available and all that type of business. So, and I got to make a video still, a new video. But yeah, it's rolling along.
How can people reach you online?
I would say the best way is through Twitter, because that's where I'm most active, which is BoobDanArt on Twitter. Shouldn't be too hard to find me on there.
Okay. I added you as a moderator, so you can post.
Oh, thank you, friend.
You're welcome. Yes. All right. Hey, Dan, thanks for sharing those treasuries. I don't think I've owned those, so I'm pretty envious.
Oh, man. Yeah, like they're pretty special. I had a Incredible Hulk one before, but it got taken in a borrow situation back when I was in high school. So I'm looking to replace that one.
That's not cool. All right, Dan, take care, my friend.
Thank you for having me on, Don.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, guys. That was a fun show. I hear my dog's starting to wake up, so I probably should go take care of them. But before I do, I want to add, show you guys our update on BEARDZZERKER. Let's see here. Okay, that works a little better. So BEARDZZERKER is our second crowdfunded parody comic book. I showed you X-FARCE, which Apex got a copy of. X-FARCE is still in demand as well on INDIEGOGO. So if you go to INDIEGOGO, you can either type X-FARCE or just type in xfarce.com, no hyphens, and it'll take you to our campaign page. So you can buy any one of the 3 different variant covers there if you like. And then BEARDZZERKER, we're getting ready to go to print on this pretty soon. We're almost done coloring it, but like for every $1,000 we hit, we've been adding stretch goals. So our original stretch goal was 7,000, and so at 7,000, people would get the guitar pick, which is, you know, kind of showing you that right here. Let me make it a little bit bigger. I'll go switch it. Okay, so at 7,000, everybody gets the BEARDZZERKER guitar pick, which is by Bill Mouse. It's an actual guitar pick you could play with. And then at 8,000, you get the Rockstar satin bookmark, which I will sign if you would like. And then we also at 9,000, we unlocked a trading card, which we don't have the prototype, but we've got some other incentives. So random people will get like the Cat Stevens die cut sticker. It's like a 3-inch sticker. We've got some BEARDZZERKER Cat Stevens square magnets that will be included. And then if we hit, is it 10,000? Yeah, if we hit 10,000, this is the hollow foil sticker everybody will get. And even though our campaign shows $9,037, we're actually $500 over that because I sold one of the covers on eBay for like $500. So if we hit 9,500, then everybody will get this this hollow foil sticker that Jim O'Reilly did, colored by Sigmund Torres. So definitely check that out. We even have a homage to Kirby on the BEARDZZERKER campaign. So let me just kind of show you that real quick. Dax Martian, who is a very talented artist that I came across, he did a Kirby cover, and you kind of see it right here. You can buy it for just $15, and that includes all the cool swag that I just showed you. It's a 32-page color book, but let me try to find that cover so you can see what he did with Kirby. And it's more like a Thor type of setup. Okay, that's one of the covers. That's the cover we sold for She. We have a Rainbow the Brute cover. Here's the one. That's the Kirby one. So that's by Dax Martian. And beautiful job, Dax. Thank you for doing that for us. Anyways, again, thank you, Glenn, for coming. And Rick, thank you for being on and moderating. I appreciate that. Let's see, Apex. Again, you did well today, Apex. I can't wait for you to get X-FARCE, and it'll go out in the mail to you shortly. So I think that is going to do it, guys. I had a great time, and my throat's starting to get a little part, so I probably I'm going to get a little raspy here. But thank you again, Jack Kirby. You're awesome. Do yourself a favor and try to track down some of his earlier work if you're not familiar with it. I think you'd really enjoy it. That's going to do it, guys. Have a good time, and we'll talk to you later. God bless. And next week's show, it's still kind of open-ended. I don't know what I'm going to do on that show, but just follow me on Twitter, and you can find out what I'm going to be doing. Probably open some mail. I got a few packages that I'm looking forward to opening, so that'll definitely be a part of the show. So anyways, Mike, thank you for coming. Everybody have a great day. We'll talk to you later.